Hello, I'm Chelsea Sturgill, and today I'm discussing Kentucky's child care shortage as a pressing issue affecting children and families across the state. This issue matters because child care is not just supervision. It supports children's developments, helps families stay employed, and strengthens the economy. When quality care is too hard or to find or afford, everyone will feel the impact. This is a major issue in Kentucky because the need for childcare is high, but the supply just cannot keep up. There are reports that Kentucky has more than 322,000 children age 5 and under, and 63% of those children all have parents in the workforce. At the same time, the state has a 28% gap between childcare supply and potential need. The shortage is so serious that the projected 10-year economic loss is estimated between 2.4 and 3.7 billion dollars. A 2025 Kentucky Child Care Gap Assessment found that formal child care may be unavailable for about 56,630 children who potentially need care. The same report also explained that if actual enrolled capacity is used instead of licensed capacity, the gap may be even larger, around 75,148 children. The shortage affects urban and rural communities, but rural areas are especially vulnerable because families have fewer options nearby. The shortage is driven by two connected problems: affordability for families and low pay for educators. In Kentucky, center based care for infants costs about $12,740 per year, or about $1,062 each month. For a median single parent family, that is about 45% of their annual income. At the same time, the workers providing care are underpaid. Federal wage data shows Kentucky child care workers average about $13.22 an hour, while preschool teachers average about $19 an hour. When families cannot afford care and educators cannot afford to stay in the field, programs struggle to remain open and fully staffed. Low wages do not just affect adults working in the childcare, they also affect children. A 2025 evidence review from Vanderbilt's Prenatal to 3 Policy Impact Center found that retention incentives can reduce turnover among early educators. The review also explained that retaining experienced educators can support better teacher child interactions, stronger classroom quality, and a more sustainable workforce. This is because young children benefit from stable, responsive relationships with caregivers. For children, the shortage means less consistent access to the safe, nurturing, developmentally supportive setting that help early learning and resilience. The child care shortage affects more than just daily routines. It changes whether families can work and whether children can access early learning. A 2025 U.S. Census Bureau working paper found that higher child care costs reduce mothers' labor force participation, and lower income mothers are especially affected. Kentucky Chamber Research estimates that improving access and affordability could help 16,000 to 28,000 parents join or return to the workforce and could generate between $599 million and $1.1 billion in wages and tax revenue. Several risk factors make this issue worse. First, there are simply not enough available childcare slots in many parts of Kentucky. Second, the cost of care is way too high for many families. Third, low wages make it hard for programs to recruit and retain staff. These problems can create more family stress, unstable work schedules, and reduce access to early learning opportunities, especially in under resourced communities. Protective factors can improve outcomes for children and families. The CDC identifies access to high quality preschool, nurturing, and safe child care, economic support, and family friendly work opportunities as an important protective factor. These are especially relevant here in Kentucky. Kentucky already shows some positive capacity in public preschool. During the 2023 to 2024 school year, Kentucky preschool enrolled about 19,737 children, and they met 8 out of 10 of their quality benchmarks. Safe, stable relationships and predictable environments also help to build resilience in children facing stress. For professionals working with children and families, several evidence based recommendations stand out. First, professionals can help families connect to child care subsidies and other early child care services. In Kentucky, there are reports with a subsidy. A family of three may pay up to $281 a month instead of the $1,062 a month. Yet, only a small share of eligible young children are served. Second, professionals should support mixed delivery systems that include child care centers, family child care homes, Head Start, and preschool. Third, workforce retention supports are important because the research shows that they can reduce turnover. Finally, local leaders should use county and regional data to identify where shortages are worst and target resources there. At the advocacy level, Kentucky needs stronger investment in affordability and the workforce. Expanding subsidy access can help families stay employed and reduce financial strain. Investing in educator compensation and retention can help stabilize the workforce and improve quality care. Kentucky leaders can also strengthen employer child care partnerships since child care access affects hiring, retention, and economic growth. Overall, childcare should be treated as both educational needs and an economic need for families and communities. In conclusion, Kentucky's childcare shortage is a pressing issue because it limits children's access to early learning, places stress on families, and weakens the workforce and economy. The evidence shows that high cost, limited access, and lower educator wages are deeply connected. It also shows that practical solutions exist, including stronger subsidies, better education support, mixed delivery expansion, and community advocacy. When Kentucky invests in childcare, it invests in its children, families, and the future of the state. Thank you. And these are all my resources that I used. Thank you so much.